Life.
Welcome back to another video. Your girl is back with another reaction for you guys. Now, in this particular clip, they're talking about how a lot of women were not taught how to treat men, how most women were not taught how to treat men. Now, I'm sure there are some women, depending on the culture that you're coming from, have been taught how to treat a man and what you should do for a man. But in some cultures, and especially in the Black culture, a lot of women were not taught this, let me just say, it's not just uh relegated to Black women, but it is a high percentage of Black women who were not raised with fathers in the home, and also even some who have fathers in the home, they still weren't taught what they should do for a man. They were typically taught what a man should do for them. So I want to play this clip. This comes from the 154 podcast. Shout out to them. I want to just play what they had to say, and I want to get your thoughts on it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on that notification bell to be notified when I upload new content, I go live. And also chime in. I definitely want to hear what you have to say on this particular topic. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Here we go.
Women historically have not been taught how to, not all, but have not taught how to look for what a man is interested in. Because young boys, I raise my boys up like, okay, hey, you want to do this for a young woman? You want to open the door? You want to take her out? You want to make sure you pay for this? You want to call her up, make sure that she made it home safely?
That's right.
Yes. We all those things. And then young girls are taught, a guy should do this for you. A guy should do that. He should be doing this. He should do that. He should have this. He should be doing this. But the one missing part is, and I'd even ask you, do you know what men are interested in? Like, if you're in the dating pool and you're interested, do you know what it is?
Well, I was never taught that a guy should do this.
Now, before she replies, because I think she had some great points as well, but I agree with what he's saying. Most women were not taught, what you should do for a man in the same way the way men were taught what they should do for women. It almost like it was an instinctual thing for men to treat a lady like a lady, open the door for her, give her flowers, give her something. It was always something that a man was told that he has to do for a woman. Specifics, you know what I mean? Be a gentleman, pull her chair out, treat her like a lady, open the door for her, chivalry, those types of things. And that you should always be open and ready to offer a woman something, because women deserve this, because they're treasured and they're basically the prize. And women, not in those, certain terms that women are prized, but it's certainly men have been told that women are to be nurtured and put first, and women, should be treated a certain way and gentle. You have to be gentle with her, and you have to do this, and you have to do XYZ. But when it comes to men, there was no real certain rules or certainties as to what women, or specifics that women should do for a man in mass. Now, I know there are some things that some men have maybe told, or some women, or some parents have told their daughters that, hey, you need to, cook for a man. That was one of the things. You need to make sure his belly is full, and you need to respect that man, and you need to do certain things. But if not in the same way that it was laid out for women. You know what I mean? It's a difference. But let's continue.
This, that, and the other. Honestly, my dad, Nigerian, focus on your studies. That's
true.
it. That's
that is true.
Thing.
That is true.
I'm not gonna lie to you. So for me, I think it's something a little bit different, but I do think that speaks to a portion of what's happening here. I think communication is key. Everybody is different. One thing that one guy might like, the other guy might not need that. Some people, like I have a friend and she loves to provide a lot of help and guidance. I know guys who abhor that. They just want you to be like a soft, cushiony thing that it's like, hey, I'm having a hard time, baby, it's going to be okay. And then some guys want like, the help. They're lost. They don't have that sense of what they want. And so they like somebody who's going to baby them along the way, or somebody, it just really depends on the guy. He's going to have to be able to communicate that. I'm an open, caring, kind person, and I'm going to give love, and I'm going to do the best that I can. But if there's something that me as a finite being is not giving you, and you can't tell me, then we're at an impasse.
Right. And I understand what she's saying, that she makes a valid point. But I think the problem is there's an expectation of what all men supposed to do for all women. There's an expectation of what what and how a man is supposed to show up and provide for a woman. But there's not the vast majority looks at a man. I mean, look at women and say, hey, there's a, all around expectation for what women are supposed to do for men. Men have to ask, and they have to implore, and they have to specify what it is they want from you, but it's automatically expected what you should do for them as the man. And I think that's just how it's been, and it's hard to change that, because once again, most women have pretty much the same expectations for men across the board, but there's not a across the board expectations for what women are supposed to do for men. So once again, men have to say, hey, I want this, I want that, I don't want this, I don't want that. But the expectation for him is always the same. Protector, provider, you have to have provisions. You have to make sure that she's good. You have to put her first. She is the prize in the eyes of a lot of women, and he has to do everything that she is asking. But when it comes to him, it's subjective. There's certain things women won't do. There's certain things they will do, and you have to kind of skirt around it, and you have to be willing to accept more, less what she wants, as opposed to her accepting more or less of what you want. So I find it interesting, because men have to specify, I want peace, I want love, I want commitment, I want, this and that, when women are automatically, you as a man are automatically expected to give these women the things that they want. So I find it interesting, but let's continue.
Are looking for one thing and one thing only: peace. That's what men are looking for.
I've heard that too.
In it, but peace stands for something, though.
Shut up.
Peace. There's the acronym peace as well. So P, obviously, physical intimacy.
What they meant, please.
E, encouragement. Looking for that. There's a lot of men who said they don't get encouraged. They get broken down by their women. Then there's obviously, they want to be admired. Men want the admiration. If you just admire, like, make a man feel good, right? Like, I admire you. Respect. Like, that's part of the respect.
There.
Yeah, and I think the things that men want is relatively simple versus what women are looking for. And because, once again, the expectations have always been that a man's supposed to do X, Y, Z. But there's never been an expectation for women, what women are supposed to do. So it can become, even though it seems simple for women to do these things, it's very difficult for some women to do it, because they've never felt like it's something that they had to do. A lot of women don't see it as, oh, why should I do this for a man? Even though you have certain expectations for him. Once again, it goes back to not having any expectations across the board for what you should be reciprocating or giving to a man. So I think for a lot of women, not all women, but for some, it's more difficult to cater to a man. It's more difficult to consider his feelings. It's more difficult to think about him, because a man has never been the real priority for a lot of women. Men have never been at the forefront of a woman doing something for, because the focus was always on what he should do for you. And this is what we've been hearing as young women. Oh, a man's supposed to do this, young boy is supposed to do this and do that for you. Even you could see in kindergarten, if a little boy likes a girl, he knows he has to give her something. He knows he has to give her some of his candy or share his cookies, or he has to give something to the girl that he likes. But for the girl who likes him, there's nothing ever said about what she's supposed to give him. You know what I mean? And if anything, the only thing, not as young children, we're moving back to the adults now. For adults, it's like the only thing that was made like the center of the whole dating thing is that women offer sex, this is what you offer to a man. This is why you hear women say, I am the prize, I am the table, because it's about the sexual part that you offer a man, that this is satisfaction enough for most men, because this is ultimately what men want from women, and this is what I can give, and this is ultimately what I give. This is why women believe that they don't have to offer all of the other things, because as long as they have that advantage of giving a man their vagina, that is going to suffice. This is why you find a lot of women who think, hey, any issues that you have in a relationship, you solve them. There are some women who actually solve the issues or that they have in a relationship with sex. They don't apologize. They don't know how to resolve conflicts. They don't know how to resolve issues in a relationship, but they'll give you that, and they'll give that to you because they know you will accept it, and that, you know, after you do that, all the problems are resolved in their minds, because ultimately sex is going to fix the problems that we have. And I think that is a problem that I think causes more contention in relationships. And I think a lot of women and men, you know, dissolve relationships because of that, because the sex eventually is not the solution to issues that you have. You have to be able to communicate. You have to be able to understand each other and work through your differences. It's not just about giving me sex. Now, that's a great part of the relationship, and I think it's a you know, a major part of it, but it shouldn't. That's not the way to resolve major issues. And this is why you see so many people break up, because that is not enough to maintain the relationship. So yeah, I think if we're gonna be honest, for some women, that's how they think that their body is the resolve to everything, that they don't have to bring anything because they're bringing the sex to the table, and that's supposed to be the solution, when it's really not. But let's continue.
That's right.
When they don't respect you, the game is over.
Then there's
they don't respect you.
Then there's companionship. And then if you have that companionship, there's the reason why the boys, they always like to hang out with the fellas. We just love that community, that companionship.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think the last part is exclusivity. If you're exclusive, you're just you and him, that's it. And I think from talking to the young dating pool, it's hard to find peace in that, all of that. They might get the physical intimacy, but then everything else breaks down.
All of that,
chaos.
I agree with all of of course, and I think that women can relate to that as well. And that's something, all of those things, you know, I'm very capable of, but I think that there's a barrier to even getting to that point, and it's the fear of even putting yourself out there. Some guys are afraid to even spend the money to go on a date because they're afraid that they're going to be used. Some girls are afraid to, you know, show any compassion because the guy's taking forever to text all day, so you must have a roster of women. So there's that barrier that is preventing you from even being able to get to that beautiful acronym of peace.
154.
Yeah, and I think she's absolutely right. I think there's many aspects to it. It's not just cut and dry. It's not just one way. And I think a lot of times people think things supposed to be just one way, and it's not. There are a lot of variables that contribute to the rise or fall of a relationship, and it involves both parties. I don't think one person is the, you know, main reason for relationships failing, unless it was some type of domestic violence or something just crazy going on. But yeah, I think there's a lot of variables that contribute to a healthy relationship or a failed one. And, you know, we have to look at it introspectively, and you have to look at both sides. It's not just one or the other. It's not just all men. It's not just all women who are, you know, creating the problems. It takes two. And so, yeah, I think you have to understand what the person that you're dealing with or dating wants. You know, there's no one size fits all. There are some people who say, oh, you got to cook for a man, or you got to make sure the meals are on the table every day at 5:00 for that man, because he got to eat, because he worked all day. You know, that may be the case for some, but there are some men who don't need a meal every day at 5:00, who don't demand that. That's not his, you know, something that he demands. So because maybe he's on a strict diet, or he eats a certain way, or he doesn't eat every day or all day. You know what I mean? You have to know what it is that works for you and the person that you're with. You have to communicate to that person what it is that you're looking for, just as much as they need to communicate to you what it is they're looking for and what it is they want from you. And that's person specific. And I think communication is key. You have to align with the person who is willing to give you what you want. And that's going to look different for every person. You can't put a set of rules and just say, this is what it should be. This is what all men should do. This is what all women should do. No, because everybody does not require the same thing. So I do agree with that. You have to find someone that works with you, and you work with them, and you offer the things that each other is looking for. And once again, it may not look like the typical thing. It may not look like what it looks like for other people in relationships, but it works for you. So you got to do what works for you, not what somebody else tells you is working. You know what I mean? Understanding that the nature of men and what you should contribute to the man helps you to treat that good man much better. You know, because I think there are a lot of women who have good men, but they don't know how to treat them because they never were told or taught how to. And they're stuck in, oh, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do this, but you never do anything for him that shows him how special he is. You see, this is why I say women want good men, but you could have a good man, but you don't know how to treat him. And then you'll lose him. And I know a few women who have lost good men and they regretted that decision or that outcome because they didn't know how to treat him. But it goes back to what they were saying in this video. A lot of women don't know how to do it, and they never learn because they're too stuck on themselves. They're too stuck on themselves. And so I think it's a learning lesson. I think it's something to learn out of these conversations, even though a lot of them can become very combative sometimes, even though this was not. Focus on what's being said and what's being said. And I think that it could be a teachable moment. You can learn something. I say I learn something new every day. So listen, that's my thoughts on this video. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel. Turn on that notification bell to be notified when I upload new content. Definitely chime in. I want to hear your thoughts on this one, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
DeeDeesReactions. Tell a friend.